Otherwise.
Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight in the September 22nd, 2025 regular council meeting of the town of the Pas. We just finished a public hearing and appreciate everybody's input and comments tonight. We are, again, just to acknowledge that we are gathered here on Treaty 5 territory, our ancestral lands of our good friends and neighbors, the Opaskwayak Cree Nation, and many other indigenous people as well as the Red River Métis. So with that, I will call the meeting to order. Somebody should have a resolution for the attendance, or is all councils in attendance? Somebody should have a resolution for the agenda.
By myself, Secretary Councilor Allen, be resolved the agenda be adopted as the agenda additions.
Yeah.
No, as presented.
Call the question, all in favor? Nobody opposed? Carried. So my paper, I need to. Somebody should have confirmation of the minutes. Oh, sorry, yeah, I actually had that in my hand, I was gonna do that, so, first off, we wanna welcome. As soon as I find my paper that I just put away so much. I have a paper to read from Brianna, just give me 1 second, Brianna. As I had moved it. Oh, right here. So. Brianna, so we want to welcome Brianna as a potential or our new youth member of council, so if I could just get you to read this. Out loud. Starting at the top. Yeah, sure, you can stand up, we usually stand up when we're talking. Nice and loud.
I, Brianna Egepong, do solemnly declare that I am a resident of the town of the Pas, that I am a Canadian citizen, that I am less than the full age of 18 years of age, and that I am enrolled as a full-time student at Margaret Barber Collegiate Institute. And I make this solemn declaration consciously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath and by virtue of the Canada Evidence Act. Declared before me at the town of the Pas in the province of Manitoba, this 22nd day of September 2025.
Perfect, so if you want to just sign that. Right
Okay.
there. And then I'll sign it and then we'll pass a resolution.
Do you want to go to camera? No?
What's that? Yeah, we will.
You take a picture, then we'll all leave Brianna.
So here, take a picture of Brianna signing.
Photographer.
Okay, so let's read the resolution now. There should be somebody with a resolution.
Resolution number 2025174, moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Hopper. Resolve the council appoint Brianna Egepong as the youth member of council for a one-year term commencing on September 22nd, 2025, in accordance with section 81(1) of the municipal act.
Any questions, concerns? Seeing none, call the question, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none, carried, and congratulations. Thank you for joining us. We really look forward to having your input into our meeting, so. We want to come and.
Great campaign.
Yeah. Just want to.
Did the welcoming already. Thank you. Board. Congratulations.
Said you already got to be first, right?
We did ours already. We're again to begin, right?
Okay,
Correct again.
I know I got a lot of paper today, so I got 2 meetings on the road here and I need all my cheat notes. So with that, we're moving on to recognition period. So anybody have Oh, geez, sorry. I'm trying to skip those minutes so bad. Confirmation of the minutes.
Resolution number 2025-175, moved by myself, second by Councillor Atkinson. Resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of September 8th, 2025 be hereby approved, all statutory declarations having been provided.
Everybody's good with that? Call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, I just gotta close my minutes here. Now, recognition period. Anybody got anything they want to share about the great, things that are happening within our community?
Just on Saturday, the NBCI Senior Girls Volleyball, they were in the, let's get the name of the tournament, the Creighton Kodiak Border Battle 2025. They won the tournament, actually for the third year in a row. Flin Flon wasn't in the tournament. Apparently they think they're a little bit better than we are. I think we're just afraid of us.
Oh, okay.
Road repairs. The roads are fabulous, absolutely fabulous right now. Everything that was put into them over, the last few weeks, having the roadblocks put up, it was all worth it. It was worth it in the end.
Anybody else have anything? I got a couple things that I wanted to share. The Pond Migration Community Cleanup event last Friday. Appreciate, I think there was about 20 or so people out for that. Great community spirit, community pride type of event. I also want to thank everybody that showed up for the community safety meeting. That was safety discussion that was held on Thursday. Like I mentioned, and tonight as well, we can't accept what's happening is good enough, and we've got to keep pushing, and working together is going to get us to that spot. I want to give a little shout out, though, a special shout out to Flo or Florence for her courage as a young leader. I think she's in grade 5, stepping up and sharing sort of her ideas on or her concerns that were going on, but also some ideas on how to actually improve the situation. So our future is bright if we have young leaders like that already in the works. And the last thing I'll say is next week, I think Culture Days is starting. I know there's a ton of work going on by that group. And I look forward to some of the events that are happening, so check that out. I have no citizens tonight, they're all here earlier. So we should have a resolution 1011 for the dehumidifier.
Resolution number 2025-176, moved by myself, second by Councillor Atkinson. Resolved that council approved to proceed with the purchase of a dehumidifier in the amount of $63,524.56 with installation plus tax and shipping, and budget for a second one in 2026.
Any comments, concerns with the agenda or with the dehumidifier?
I just have a comment. I think it's very progressive of the department to ask to budget for a second dehumidifier in case this one possibly breaks down as per the information that we were provided. So I just like to see the department being progressive and forward thinking.
Any other comments? Seeing none, call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. AMM district meeting resolution.
Resolution number 2025-177, moved by myself, second by Councillor Allen. Resolved the council approves CAO and 2 members of council to attend the 2025 AMM Northern District meeting on October 8, 2025 in Thompson.
So this is the meeting that was planned for June, but with all the wildfires that were happening, there was the delay till now, so. Could we get everybody's good? So call the question, all in favor? Opposed, none, carried. Moving on to payrolls and accounts.
Resolution number 2025-178, moved by Councilor Manage, second by Councilor Commodore. Resolved, the council authorize the following accounts. Pay period number 19 in the amount of $148,440.29. General checks number 32831 to 32869 in the amount of $153,695.71. EFTs in the amount of $222,027.37.
Any comments, questions?
I had two questions. One was Jean's Telecom and the other one was, Bell MTS. There were two bells in there. It was, I think it was like 5,500. Was that internet somewhere to be set up somewhere? I should have asked ahead of time.
Bell, you said?
Yeah. It was, there were two for Bell. Let me find it
I
here.
don't even remember.
You know what? It says landlines beside it. Don't.
Yeah, it's, oh, that's, yeah, that's just our
Yeah.
regular photo.
But it's like $5,500, so that's why I was curious on that one, it was $5,800, and then Jeans, did we get new internet somewhere, or what was that
Photo
one?
before.
It just says Jeans Telecom for $6,639.
I'd have to look
I
through
guess
this. We'll have to get
Yeah,
there.
we'll get back to me on it, don't have to go through that.
Part of that may have been the arena booster.
Oh, that's probably what it is, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thanks.
All right, Nicole, call the question, all in favor? Oh, sorry.
Just a minor question. Alberta Fire Chiefs Association.
Yeah,
Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, it's all together.
That would be for, fire prevention. Materials, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
Everybody else is okay? Call the question, all in favor? Opposed? None, carried. Okay. Council rescheduling, resolution.
Resolution number 2025-179, moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Commodore. Be resolved, the council agreed to change the October 13th, 2025 council meeting to Tuesday, October 14th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in observance of Thanksgiving.
So this, for people to know, we're just moving our day from Monday to Tuesday. Because of the holiday. Good.
Yeah, like obviously I was supporting this, just when we were discussing this at the last meeting about this kind of being something that would just be an automatic. We could set this up for the future, so that this is just an automatic move the next day.
Yeah,
We
this-
should have this every time.
It falls on the staff.
it should be in our procedural bylaw. I'm not sure if it is, but, I
If it's
agree.
not, put it in there.
Yeah. The only problem with the procedural bylaw, if we'll bring it forward, we gotta do the 3 readings and all that stuff too, so. Okay, so call a question, all in favor? Opposed? None, carried. Okay. Tax sale, 2025 tax service.
Resolution number 2025-180, moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Manage. Whereas section 3652 of the Municipal Act provides that council may in any year designate the immediately preceding year or any earlier year as the year for which properties, the taxes in respect of which are in arrears for that year must be offered for sale by auction to recover the tax arrears and costs. Be it resolved that the designated year for which properties in arrears be offered for sale by auction be 2025, meaning all properties with outstanding taxes for the year 2023 or prior. And be it further resolved that in accordance with section 363(1) of the Municipal Act, cost shall be the actual cost incurred by the municipality for each parcel listed for the tax sale plus an administration fee of $50 per roll as set forth in the Manitoba Regulation 50-97, and be it further resolved that the 2025 tax sale be held on December 18th, 2025 at 2 p.m. at the Town of the Paul, 81 Edwards Avenue in the council chambers. And be it further resolved that council place a reserve bid on tax sale properties in the amount of the tax arrears and associated costs in regards to the 2025 tax sale. And be it further resolved that council appoint the chief administrative officer as a designated officer for the 2025 tax sale. And I agree. My lips are dry.
So this is, we've already passed this resolution once. This is a revision due to the fact that the service provider, tax services, was unable to meet or something changed for them, so they've asked for this change. So it's just moving the date to the 18th. So seeing no further comments or call the question, all in favor? Opposed, none, carried. Okay. Committee and reports. So, museum board.
We've got a new okay. I know this is, a new assistant at, the museum. His name is Justin McClintock. He's got a 4-month contract. I met the young man. He's, very excited to be here. We had a membership drive this spring. It was very successful. We got 19 new members. We're starting off the Home Roots concert. The next one is October 21st, and it's a singer, Franco Manitoba singer. I don't have her name. On October 7th at 7 o'clock, there's going to be a presentation by 2 of the museum members of the history of the fall. So, and cookies will be served. That'll be good.
Chamber.
No real reports since the last meeting. Meeting change though, October 7th instead of October 1st. Also pay attention to the nomination for Citizen of the Year and Business of the Year. You'll see the posters around town. So if you can maybe think of nominations that would be very deserving of that. It's an initiative that'll be announced at our annual general meeting in November.
Yeah, and then just to add to council manage that October 7th is I have asked that if I could come to the chamber to talk about sort of what businesses can do to help us with downtown safety, and if there's things just to open up that conversation there. So we'll see where it goes. Again, just a discussion, informal.
Well, that's why the meeting was changed.
Yeah, no, I asked it because I'm away.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And that shows that
Yeah, no,
the chamber is definitely willing to be flexible,
Yeah.
especially when attendees
Yeah.
can come and share important information. So
Yeah, no, for sure. CDC, no meeting this week because of the lack of attendance. So we'll pick that up in the next week or so, business as usual. Jonathan, you wanna maybe just give us, seeing that you're here, do you wanna just, did you send me an email on the home improvement?
Yeah, we got the business improvement program going on. We had 6 applications already, and we're looking to get some more of those approved. So if any new other businesses, the application process is still open until the end of the year. They can apply for storefront improvements, new doors, windows, facade. We'll see, we have seen a couple businesses, new siding already, and a door. We're also seeing some work on Fisher right now, so some of those businesses will be freshened up and.
Could you just clarify the dollar amount that we offer?
Yeah, the CDC and the Chamber of Commerce came together, pitched in $15,000 each. We're offering up to $2,000 as a rebate, or 50% up to $2,000 of your construction costs.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And as mentioned today, well, I don't wanna get into a CDC report, so that's good. Destination marketing? Cedar Lake?
We met last Thursday and there's nothing to report to council on
Recycling board, we did meet last week. We have finalized a constitution and a terms of, or rules of procedure or something like that. I can't remember the top of my head. What came out of that last meeting is we'd like to send it to a lawyer just to make sure the legalese is all right. So I was gonna ask council if it's okay if we can send it through the town, pass it to, no, there's no objections. And again, we had, there's other things that are happening, and hopefully have a different report next meeting.
And AGM on the 29th, 7 p.m.
Yeah,
this month.
no, it's actually, you were on the meeting.
We changed it?
Yeah, it was changed to, off the top of my head, it was in November now because there's a bunch of people away as well.
Perfect.
Just so we know, last meeting we spoke about the trailer, dump trailer.
We talked about it, but we didn't make any firm because all the partners weren't at the table. Yes, so I think that's going good. Counselor Allen, library board.
Moving on October now.
Counselor Atkinson, KSD, can
Nothing to report.
We have a date for KSD yet?
The last, 2 weeks ago, it was that they were just reconvening over the summer. And that this month they would be reappointing their new, not overall board, but that portfolio. And once that portfolio was proceeded with after their first meeting, then one would be set. So if they met last week, then I will reconnect, but that first initial meeting needed to take place so they could appoint people to that portfolio.
And our youth counselor, would get to, you don't have to have something today, but if you do, so youth counselor Brianna, do you have anything you want to share with us today?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Mr. Berry shared some information and infographics with me. So today we held our second outreach meeting, which had 3 new members. So we have over 20 members now, which I think is really good compared to last year. We held an assembly, which also discussed things about outreach and grade wars, which is happening tomorrow to promote school involvement. Tomorrow is our first grad meeting at 10 a.m. and also our outdoor ed canoe trip. On Wednesday, the 24th, we have picture day. And Thursday is anything but a mug day for the teachers. So that will be interesting.
What does that mean?
It's like school spirit kind of for the teachers. So usually they bring in like a coffee mug or like their little tin stuff to drink coffee, but now they have to bring like a pot or a Ziploc bag and put their coffee in there.
Oh, okay, good.
Also on Thursday, we're having Manitoba College and Universities to visit in the morning from 9 to 12:30. And we have a grad parent meeting in the evening at 7 p.m. And then our group 2 outdoor ed canoe trip. On Friday and Saturday, we have our senior varsity boys and girls home tournament. And on Friday, we also have a school-wide barbecue for just to welcome the school and any new students. On Monday and Tuesday, Sunday and Monday, the 28th and 29th, we have soccer zones, the Zone 11 championships, and we have a team that I think can do really good in that.
Oh, nice.
Monday is Orange Shirt Day for schools, and then Tuesday there is no school due to Truth and Reconciliation Day. And Wednesday, October 1st is cross country zones. And Saturday is our Culturama Jazz Band performance. So,
There really not much going on.
Sounds like school's boring.
we have a lot of new students as well, over 30. And I don't know if that shows you. It's just
Sure, yeah, you can.
Okay.
People might be watching.
a grade count. So we have 105 grade 9s, 93 grade 10s, 103 grade 11s, and 137 grade 12s, which I would have not expected. We're also trying to begin a French club to encourage young elementary and middle school students to stay in French and just promote the language, because me being a French immersion student in grade 12, there's only 4 students in my grade who speak French. And looking at it, I see that most students tend to drop out around middle school. So we're trying to promote kids around that age to stay in by doing activities around once or twice a month to keep them engaged.
Good. Great report. Thank you. Now you set the bar high, you know that. Okay, so moving on, management reports, any comments around the management report? I do have a couple. I just wanted to ask one question. You could probably help. So is all the equipment for winter ready now? Like all the sanding equipment, graders, snow blowers? Because we're a month away, sort of thing?
Most of our equipment is used all year round, so they're sort of full flex. The things that change, let's say for the grader is sharpening blades, which is already general. The guys are very excited to start changing more tires soon. I hear all the excitement in their voices for that. So we're on track to be.
You have a,
Go ahead.
you have a date, for Christmas decorations? And a date for putting them up?
I will try to get you something tentative, but
Just wondering.
we usually wait till after Remembrance Day,
Mhm.
but it's weather dependent because that's all.
Do you want to cancel? Okay, they will see it as a surprise.
And then the other thing, I would mention, I would just wanted to ask is, I seen it's in the airport report though. But do we make sure the airport's ready for winter as well, so the de-icing equipment, so that we're not. I know it says that, but I think he says it's all ready, I know we made a big investment, we also wanna make sure that the airport doesn't divert any flights, based on weather. Or whatever we can control the best as possible. And then I would say, I forgot to mention it earlier, Sam and Tanvir, the sign looks great. In Devon Park, it really stands out so well done on the.
I think one thing that we notice is missing is maybe some lighting.
Yeah.
I think that would really help stand out.
Solar lights,
Thank you to Cedar Lake for their patience.
Hope we don't have movement.
Executive was very pleased to see it up. We met last
hopefully we
Thursday.
do have. them.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're very pleased to see that it was up and completed. Good job, guys.
Okay, and then, there's the CAO report, any comments, questions with regards to that? Seeing none, there's also the unfinished business tracking report, thanks for putting that back in there with a little bit, clearer now so that we don't lose track of things. Any comments with regards to any of that? My only comment, with regards to, is the, tax increment financing bylaw, I'd like to know where that's gonna be at sooner or later.
I would like to update council
Okay,
of what I have been able to achieve. They gave us a contact from, MS to give us a contact, so I followed up with the contact. And they said, the contact told me that they only deal with the private establishment, not municipality. So they gave me direction to City of Brandon as well as City of Winnipeg. So I contacted them, so I'm expecting a response from them on how they did it and how they were able to achieve what they achieved through that. So I'm waiting for City of Brandon.
so the MSOs or the Manitoba Assessment Branch or whoever the tax
Yes,
people
they
are,
give
they
us-
can't help us?
They no, I'm not, they gave us certain content, which is Manitoba Trade and something. So
Yeah,
I reached-
100%.
yes, I reached out to
Sure.
them. They said they don't deal with it. They only deal with private establishments or businesses, not government organization.
Okay,
That is what is causing the delay.
okay.
You said one question though, I don't know if it should be under town development and planning. I'm assuming all councils are all on board on this, is, back to my rezoning on Devon Park. Is, to me, I'd like to see that as unfinished business or under town development and planning, at least something there, and we can, I won't keep asking for it, I'll see the update here.
And unfinished business.
Bring the resolution, we start the ball on that. As the mayor said before, even over in Wolfville, over Snack, Wood Acres too, we need to be ready. Some things take a long time to get ready, not because of us, because of other controls. And some are trying to talk this way here, not financial. I'd like to see us move forward, get it done, so that's not gonna be a roadblock at the end. Could be, once you have all your things in place, this could be a hold up. So if this will go away, the rest is up to you.
So Councillor Hopper, how are you? What portion of Devon Park are you looking at then? Are you looking to have like just a certain parcel or the entire part from like where the sign goes all the way back to like the approach where the fish shack is?
If you did, just a portion, we have the Jonathan to tell us where the footprint will be. But
We're identifying, like the size that would be,
And do you have that size?
soon.
Okay,
and in saying that,
yeah.
I would be opposed to rezoning the whole thing. It could still be used as a park.
And that's the thing
Because
is,
we have other things.
if we can do it all at once, why do we want to do it in like 4 different parcels? And whether or not, Brett Mack is going to have something to say about the green space and all that.
Well, I think Ebola, you mentioned, what did you say?
I reached out to Brett.
Oh, you have, okay.
Yes, I reached out to Brett, and we just have to identify the location. There's something I'd like to discuss.
Okay, thank you. No worries, thanks.
Okay, so seeing no other questions around that, library reports, everybody had a chance to go through that. It's more or less their hit list. Hopefully we're getting it done. General business correspondence. Everybody see the financials for the Tricom. Any questions of that? You can see the RCMP stats, so they, just, what we have. So this is the zoning, so we're, so there's the zones, so, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so if you can see the hot spots, where you're looking at a lot of activity is M8, which is downtown, so anybody watching online, you can see a lot of the activity that's happening as highlighted tonight in our public hearing is the downtown area. And then the RCMP report, as we briefly touched on, tonight was, there's 5 hard vacancies, so I know Sergeant Stark and others are trying to move that. When we talk about the 5 hard vacancies, one of them is a clerical support person, a federal supervisor, that they're still trying to fill. And a couple of the soft vacancies that are there are municipal employees, so when you look at overall, I guess I could have highlighted that a little bit because the colors weren't jumping out at me, but we're right now, we're short a staff sergeant and a constable on a soft vacancy. And so I know the staff sergeant's been reassigned to the district right now to work on some things. I'm not sure about the constable, I'm not gonna comment. So, and the other vacancies is Corporal Stark, or Sergeant Stark said that they're bringing them in. We went through this sort of report at the end of July at our public safety meeting, so I think you can see things are pretty well the same. That's more or less a very similar report that we talked about. Any comments, questions with that?
I was really happy to hear Sergeant Stark comment, filling some of those vacancies is gonna go more paramilitary, where they're gonna tell you where to go. That's gonna be helpful to our community. As we heard some of our citizens earlier, no one's willing to come to the pot. So when it comes to police costs, it's gonna be good that they're being told to come
Yeah.
here, so that hopefully will fill those vacancies.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, so moving on, citizen appearance, committee of the whole, or nothing as citizens, you wanna move us into committee of the whole?
Resolved that we now move ourselves into the committee of the whole with Mayor Murphy and Chair to discuss matters requiring our attention.
So I only had the question regarding from Public Works, which we already answered. So, downtown cameras, so a lot of work, a lot of costs, a lot of demands by our communities to do something on this.
So we put a little bit of some preliminary numbers together, just sort of very raw at this point. We still have yet to hear back from Magic Infrastructure regarding putting them on the traffic lights. There's been other suggestions, that we can bolster this in different ways, but we feel pretty good about kind of like these like worst case like scenario costs that we've shared. We haven't really broken into like Devon Park, how we would potentially look along walking path areas, so we'll kind of keep adding to that. But I felt that this was a good starting point, I think, for you guys to kind of see the rough numbers. So if we start to plan for 2026 budget, I think we have a good baseline.
One of the things that I think we heard on Thursday, I think we need to understand where the activity is and prioritize the installation of cameras based on that. And also taking some feedback from our sort of safety experts like the RCMP, if one of the key things is license plate readers or stuff like that, you know, I think that should be prioritized as well. It would be good to have a list, you know, based on a recommendation, that'd be my opinion anyways. A recommendation based on staff and the CSOs. Here's where we should focus first, second, third, but then also have it so the total cost. Councillor Hopper?
Just a thought, why couldn't we have the police identify areas, say the downtown? If this business put one here, this business put one here, cover a certain area, residential do the same. The town pay for the cost of the camera, police have access to it. They'd be the only one that have access to it, not the resident of the business. And we pay for the internet or whatever, I'm sure, a lot cheaper than
It's a good idea.
these figures.
No, that's a great, alternative, for sure.
Yeah.
I did say they have that ability on the new cameras that they can do that.
So we talked about ideally if we got, let's say, the Chamber of Commerce involved, and then provide like rebates to the chamber through identified sort of hotspot areas, and then work backwards, because I agree, because some of the issues we're seeing are not only in the downtown, on the streets, it's the back lanes as well. So if we empower business owners to add additional cameras around the property, so long as they provide access, maybe that's the agreement, we'll pay for the extra cam.
We'll pay for it, and it's no cost to the resident or the business, and the police have access to it. If there's a way to do it so the people don't have access to it, I'm sure most of them wouldn't have a problem if they know the police have access.
The second part, I'm not sure about them not having access and only the police having.
It's not a big deal if they have access, they're just gonna see what's happening.
Yeah, I think as long as they were to sign something saying that on demand, if the police needed access, they guarantee they'll provide it, you know, based on the timing. There was even some information that we received from the RCMP regarding certain types of cameras where the police can on demand get access without remote access, so I think that is.
If we did that, I'm sure we get some price, I'm sure it'd be a lot cheaper than doing this, because you're talking the downtown, hooking up the lights and stuff, that. A lot of paperwork.
And the problems could become endless, right, with just the power supply, yeah, could be very costly.
Somebody's looking at it, like if I had a business downtown, I wouldn't have an issue with that, fine, put them on. Doesn't cost me anything.
And we do own, and we do own buildings around town strategically in different areas that could provide some of these license plate reading sort of tools as well if we want to.
Just get the cost and what be in one place, it won't, it shouldn't vary from business to resident, get the ones that we're talking about there, that they can do remote access, good quality camera, and then you can figure it out.
And on top of that, though, I believe, I don't disagree with what Councillor Hopper is saying, but I do believe we need a big picture plan too, of the entire community. And what would be helpful for us to have that is that before we go to Winnipeg in November, so that when we have a meeting with the Minister of Justice, we can send them a list ahead of time to show them this is the investment required to deter some of the stuff that's happening. And here's the specific stats. We have the hotspots today. We have from the map that the RCP show us, they show us where the activity is. So we know that's an important, but you know, we need to be able to paint that picture well so that when we're lobbying for grant systems to be able to provide for public safety like they've done in the past, that we've got our stuff and we understand what we're looking for. But in the meantime, if we're waiting for that big thing too, if there's some easier stuff to just do, we should do that. Any other questions for that, Sam, or anything you guys wanted to more that you want to share?
I think for that, I think it's gonna be, that's like a large project, right?
Yeah.
To kind of tie that all together, so we'll definitely need the support of our CSO manager and a lot of input from the RCMP as well.
Yeah. And it'd be good to have that written up as a budget submission anyway, so that council can decide. And whatever it ends up being in the next council doesn't lose track of it, it's in the system as an idea.
And maybe even it can be added into the asset management plan.
Yeah.
In the meantime, put the cost on high quality, remote access. I can't see anybody refusing to have that put up.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
So one thing, sorry guys, I jumped ahead again. There was this is sort of part of the same discussion, that community safety well-being plan. I meant in our mayor and councillor updates, I was gonna mention October 6th at 5 o'clock, they're gonna do a presentation to council on what was found or what was the outcome of the work over the last year. So I'll ask Bola to send an invite, and you can also join virtually possibly because Dave will be joining virtually. So I'm sure we can get you a link if you need to get a link. The other thing is, we did talk about just stuff coming out of that safety discussion. I believe we should propose some sort of loitering bylaw that captures all sorts of other activities. I did share a draft with Bola and Mike for their, just as a starting point, and they could bring it to council whenever they feel it's ready. But I think we need to have a little bit more authority on what we can and can't do and whether makes a difference or not. At least we're trying to do something. The other thing I want us to just think about, I haven't said this to anybody, but maybe putting in a bylaw restricting hours of operations on liquor sales when it comes to off sales. So I'm thinking, just out loud, and this is not what I'm landing on, but something along the lines that maybe the liquor store is only open it opens at noon instead of 10, and it's not open on Sundays and those type of things. So a discussion that we'll ask Bola to bring forward. And then as I think we talked a little bit about it just now, Sam, that we need to understand those hotspots and make sure that our CSOs and others are patrolling those hotspots. Sorry, I had that in the report and I forgot about it. I skipped by it again. Brianna's youth counselor, Brianna's thrown me off today. That's what we use sometimes too. We have to blame everything on the youth counselor. What's that?
Have you spoken?
I haven't talked to anybody about it, Larry. It's an idea.
Okay, they try to police a lot of their sales.
Oh,
The higher ups came into town and told them a lot of the stuff that they were trying to do, they're not allowed to. So they're forced by the higher ups to say you come in twice already today. They can't keep a list and say, well, you were in, I can't sell you anymore.
Yeah, I did talk to the staff on that part. I didn't talk to them about the bylaw.
Okay.
But I agree, there could be some benefits to community downtown safety with that.
Yes,
If not, maybe not.
I totally agree.
So moving along, Public Works Grove. You wanna share what you thought there?
Sure. Sorry.
This is a grant that's due with the end of this month.
So as I'm sure everyone's aware, Manitoba GR Road is open for their intake, which is due October 6th, 2025. So we've proposed a couple different ideas from our end. Obviously, last time we met, we talked about the Lido. We also talked about paving. We've kind of broken the paving down into several different ways that we can look at it. So obviously full scale paving without any underground infrastructure, a limited scale paving without underground infrastructure, full scale paving with underground infrastructure, and then continue with our shape and pavement, our patching program that we've done. I kind of go into some greater detail about like how that's broken down, sort of some of our thoughts about that. So we've done some patching, for instance, on Traeger. We're able to get done with this paving project. We hope that will show some great improvement on Traeger as Mayor Council these are some of the things that Mayor Council wanted to accomplish to make sure that Traeger, Bagshaw, Reader sort of get some attention. We've cut out and are continuing to cut out some patches on Reader and Bagshaw, and we're gonna leave them gravel over the winter. Probably have to top them up quite a bit. And then come next year, we can look at patching those as well. If that's, well, we'll patch them no matter what, if there isn't a full scale paving project for that.
Just on that, Sam, did we do an actual geo study on that?
Yeah, we did a few test holes to kind of see the ground conditions, what we're working with, the top, 2 or 3 feet underneath the pavement was a good mix of clay and gravel. But once you kind of go beyond that, you're into the subsurface and sandy material, which could become problematic if we're going to do full scale renewal on those streets. Some of the curb and gutter is in bad shape, and same with the storm sewer, and some spots have to be repaired. So for right now, directed Public Works to start to identify some of those curbs that need to be removed to be ready to be repaired, as well as some of the storm sewers will be scoped in the off season here in the fall as we roll into the winter, so that we can some of the catch basins, if they need repairing in that area, it's better to do it when the ground's a little bit more cold, the ground's frozen, just will help for installation purposes.
Did the roads settle, or like most of the driveways within homes are like this, and people are putting concrete there, they're putting asphalt, and then peaks and water flow, but when they have to get into the driveway, if they go, like a lower car. Is that this way it was originally built?
No, the road looks like it's significantly settled, also some heaving around it as well. The one good thing we have seen is areas that we've done, where we've done sewer repairs for service lines. The patches are really well. So that's a good sign for consolidation, that even just doing that little piece, it sort of has held for 2 winters, 3 winters, so.
Just from my point of view, just for those 2 areas there, we have a problem now because it only went down 3 feet. I would say go down as far as you have to go to do it like full scale.
Yeah.
Just
There is also some potential benefit to ripping out the problem areas. I'm sure the residents would prefer to drive on a flat gravel surface than a kind of roller coaster asphalt surface. So we think that by adding that gravel, having it settle and compact will help consolidate around it as well. So we're excited to see what happens. We did one patch on Bagshaw just to kind of see as well. When we done one of our test holes, so we can see what that will look like by next year as well.
if it's looking down, if you did the full scale development of those areas, would you be doing building cover too?
We would have no choice, there is some concern of full scale. I kind of had an issue regarding vibratory compaction at those depths, so the grades in Bagshaw Reader are sort of minimum to begin with in some spots. So there is a definite fear from my end that putting any type of heavy equipment to dumping gravel, compacting that gravel, could open a whole host of other problems potentially for residents. Because of all the sloughing in we have. I'll provide an example. We did a dig, I can't remember how many years ago now, on Reader, about middle of the block, and the amount of caving in we had, we almost couldn't reach the cage with our excavator. Just to give you the scale of how much land we lost or how much material we lost. So if we
Like putting the geotech down, that would be a big benefit, like say if you went down 4 or 5. It just kind of, if you don't have with anything, if you don't have good base, you're gonna have problems.
correct, yeah, and one option, another option with, going down 3-4 feet would be to just keep putting the gravel down on top of a geo grid. And then just over 1 year, like one season, just keep packing and packing, and that will self-consolidate as well. But you're still losing all your curb and gutter likely at that 4-foot depth, and then your storm sewers as well would have to.
Yeah, I would say leave it as gravel for a couple of years to get good settlement.
Yeah, especially if this grant is for 3 years, it would probably be, if we're looking to do full scale, I would say. Wait to pave until that 3rd year.
So what are you looking for here, Sam, from council?
I've provided some options for what could be some good options for GRO application. I believe we've had some very good success with our shave and pave, the way we've done business. And I understand that we don't want to neglect those on Bagshaw Reader 100%. I think we can achieve both by continuing our shave and pave program and our overlay program with still cutting out areas of those areas. But because I believe if we're going to tackle those areas with the amount of money we're spending, I believe we should be doing a full renewal. Like if we're gonna spend the money to go, 6-7 feet deep to repack and build it up, I think it should be a full scale renewal if we're going to do that. Unfortunately, as a kind of state of the issue sheet, Bagshaw is not at the top of the list for a renewal. I kind of sort of laid out some of those rationale in there. So I would prefer to continue with shave and pave if that's what council would like to do for our application. But
It's
still,
making life bigger, better for them by doing that right now.
pardon?
It's making it better for the residents in that area by doing what you just said.
Yeah, I think we can cut out enough places and pave and patch enough places. I think that they will see immediate value in it. We're not neglecting them. We're doing those impacts. I think I've had some positive feedback from Traeger. I would, recommend checking out some of the patches maybe in the spring to kind of see how they hold up. But I think the shave and paves, the overlays have gone really well. I'm just a little nervous digging down any depths on Bagshaw Reader unless we're doing full schedule.
Just a quick reminder, this GRO, we can submit one for the municipal and we can submit one for the joint. So we need 2 applications. And once council decided, this evening, I'll prepare the resolution because we have to submit. We only have limited time. So I want council to look at it and decide which one do you think should be the priority.
So what does council wanna do? What applications do we wanna apply for?
I have one question before we
Yeah.
move on to making a decision. For number 5, solid waste management and organic diversion. For the solid waste management, could that include a garbage truck or no?
I don't believe equipment was included. They normally don't let you buy equipment on these grant. I shouldn't say that. I don't know we'll have to double check, but I don't believe get a garbage truck.
I'm not saying that the projects that you haven't brought forward aren't fabulous. It's just a question, right?
No, that's.
If that falls into the waste management part for solid.
I just wanted to remind us, last year, we applied for solid waste management.
Right, for the land.
So that might not be a good fit for us, because I'm just thinking, they didn't give us the variable for selection, but I'm just thinking, because last year we applied for the category under the solid waste management.
Yes.
So I'm just thinking, so I'm just finding a way of us getting something.
So two applications, a joint one and a one from the town, so where's council looking at leaning towards?
I think maybe we should hear the rest of presentations.
Actually,
We still have a recreation.
Fire chief is here, he might want to speak
oh,
to.
we went through it, you weren't here last
I
night. We went
I've watched them online, yeah. If that's what we're doing, is just going by the content we read, I have one concern I wanted to bring up. First of all, we'll go back to just directly your question. I would much rather see a big input into recreation. I wasn't a big fan of the information submitted. I felt it was too small potatoes. I feel we should be looking at something that no one else offers. You and I had discussed a little bit, racquetball courts, squash courts, like a true draw. To just build another gymnasium and another weight room doesn't interest me at all. And I don't feel that's a value with the age of our current wellness center. I do like the idea, of course, of the track being rubberized.
Yeah.
But I think that has been kind of on the books for the past 25 years, and that's underway. Again, if we can tie that as part of a complete recreation rebuild, then fine. But as a standalone project, no, I feel we can find other ways to do that. So my heart and my money for the sole one would be for recreation as a true expansion. Standalone building of the wellness center, not standalone, there'd be a corridor to join, of course, but to not just build another gymnasium in the town of the Paw. We already have 6 that are underutilized. Racquetball courts, squash courts, those kinds of things, I think would be a little bit of a draw, especially with the draw and interest in pickleball now. It gives another option, so the court isn't designated to pickleball, it gives them another location.
Yeah, so keep in mind, just wanna make sure, keep in mind, we have to come up with the other half of the money too, so that's. I don't disagree with you, Councillor Manich, having, recreation, I like I also would lean on the track. I mean, it's been talked about for 25 years and I don't think it'll ever get done, but I also like just a smaller version of the Centennial Park. But I also like what Sam's proposal was, which is sort of building what kind of off of what Councillor Manich says, the Lighter Theater, where potentially there would be no real investment cash wise from the citizen, as Sam's outlined. And we could have something really, really good for the community. And I think, when it comes to the fire department, I believe that after last year's experience, I think there's gonna be other opportunities for us to maybe see other funding opportunities arise. So, I'm not sure, I don't see those in the favor, I'm with recreation and the Lido.
And I think if there was a joint one possibility, I would go with the joint if somehow the RM could be involved with the fireball expansion.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that has been our issue, has been the side of our fireball that limits our apparatus, that limits our productivity and our efficiency. But getting to that, just because it was just sort of the.
Sorry, when we did interrupt, I just, in that discussion, when we're reading the grant application, I believe they will, if we're putting in 2, they will likely, based on the language, they will likely prioritize our joint application over the single application.
Oh, okay.
That's sort of how the language, there's some very good language in there that's like, hey, if we.
Careful
Yeah, so if we put a joint application, that will likely be the one, if we are to be approved, we'll. Yeah,
When is the deadline again?
then. Sweet.
October 6th.
Well,
Like to know.
Councillor Hopper, any inputs?
Well, recreations, don't disagree with what we're doing in recreation. I would like to see the track done. It would be a big plus. If that could be put in somewhere, and we gotta do something with the street over there, whether it's shaved and paved, like if you live there. Like I know on Traeger, the few you've done there makes a world of difference. So if you can do recreation, the track for one, and do the minimum we can do on bag shovel. I don't like the idea of throwing good money away and then 4 years we're at the same problem. Even if it's shave and pave, take all the arms over there, see what happens. And the next council might have to, these grants will come up again, we might have to look at we have to go a little deep on this, literally.
Councillor Allen? Anything?
Every one of these is a great idea.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these so just mentioned, have been on here for 25 years. I think the thing that's been on here the longest is Reader and Eggshot. As I mentioned last council meeting. That's going back to when I was a kid. I can't picture in my head a worse road that I've ever driven on anywhere in this world than Reader. And as much as I would love to see the rubberization of the track or the fire hall and all those things, because I've heard those discussed for years in this room. If we don't do Reader now, when are we ever actually gonna do Reader? It'll never get to the top.
So are we saying, just as a note, though, what I think what I've heard, I just want to summarize. Is that I think we all agree those roads need to be done, but that would just be captured under a regular budget item annually like we're doing today. That's what you're saying.
So with the significant patching, there's two ways we can look at it. We can look at it through the lens of how we've been doing it. Our gas tax account has been reduced significantly and the infrastructure dollars are down, so we'd have to sort of plan accordingly for 2026 and 2027 to kind of bolster ourselves if we want to keep going the way we're going. So the grant could still be utilized for that, or we can try to keep going how we're going. We have some borrowing that's coming off the books at the end of this year, so that if that money is redirected, let's say the infrastructure.
So it could be redirected to the machine.
Yeah, equipment.
Machinery, yeah, so we have,
Hopefully.
but until it's in stone, it's still in play technically, right? So that's a possibility. I think what the mayor mentioned about the Lido, that if we're looking at no cost to the ratepayers, that is the cleanest option that I've presented. Is money is sort of already in the bank and lets us kind of build something a little bit more resilient, a little bit larger scope potentially. I know there's some concerns about, operational costs and all that in the background. If it's paving, if we're gonna go paving, I would recommend we do the patching on Traeger. We continue with more patching like we have on Traeger for the Bagshot Reader area to significantly improve those streets. When you start paving municipal roads that are residential streets, like it's significant, like overlay, or then you're gonna have a bit of a community uproar about like, when is my street being done? When are you gonna come?
Well, I'm not worried about that.
I gotta start somewhere.
Councillor Comer, just want to say that.
What about,
Yeah.
you had on there, Big No?
Yeah, so if we're gonna do a full scale, so there's another way we can approach the grant where we break a project into two. So underground works is a different grant application. We go after the money, go after the debentures, whatever is needed. And then the surface works will be captured under a grant application like this. Now to turn around something like Big No, we'd have to 2026 budget for engineer design and planning. And then hope by 2027, we're sort of in the ground digging and that we've received 2 or 3 grants and have the money through debenture ready to go for something like that to qualify for this. So, and for Big No, there's some reasons why Big No was kind of sort of put to the top of the list. Because it also helps with our distribution system, increasing the pressure on the southeast and southwest corner of town. All the bleeders, and I don't know if I put the exact figures in there, how much water go through the bleeders, which is significant. It even was kind of surprised me a little bit. So that would require a significant more investment, but that's a way we can break this up into 2 projects.
I'm just thinking back to Rose Avenue, those pipes that they dug up, there wasn't any pipes left. And, talking to the residents there, how much the difference it made in, the streets and everything. Well, it's the older part of town, right? So
Definitely.
it's not gonna get any better. The problem's just gonna get worse. So
Definitely a
like
project
paving,
we're very
that's a
proud of.
project that should be, I'm gonna say, in quotations, highlighted.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Councillor Forster?
I have to agree exactly with what she said. Big No is one of our oldest streets in town too, and it's not far off from Bagshot Reader, to be honest. You drive down it. It's a narrow street, it's got a lot of bumps. Pretty bad shape.
Must have been on the boulevard.
Councillor Myers, you want to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. We keep saying, or it's been said a few times, use it towards the Lido. We have rebuild insurance on it right now. How can we access money through the grow project to grow that project if it's not our own money? Would that be permitted to use insurance money as our 50% contribution? That doesn't seem.
It's our money.
But we're not taking a payout, we're getting a rebuild, right? So whatever the rebuild costs, so to me, if we were taking a payout, then we could apply it to a grow fund, but I don't know if. And again, I'm just asking the question, we're using basically supported money to borrow against in a sense, right? And I don't know if that.
So the question in the application is usually like, where is your share of the money coming from, right? So we have a pretty clear statement we can make that the money is through our insurance that to rebuild the Lido. So that's a good question. You can
Just
kind of
because
dig
it's not a
into
handle, right?
it.
If we do a payout, I would agree 100%. But because we're doing rebuild, we're basically asking to, let's double it, which I agree with. I love the idea. We've talked a little bit about, taking over a bigger portion of the land and trying to enhance it. It just seems strange that we could use insurance money to use as our portion. It seems contradictory, that's all. I wanted to make sure that.
That's a good question that we can maybe get some more clarity, but it didn't really say it didn't say that it couldn't be insurance money, but I guess it.
Because it's not our money, right? It's the insurance company's money unless we took a payout. It's them saying you can rebuild back to what's required. And if it was gonna enhance, then that would become our money. If we said we're gonna double it, then I think we could borrow against that. But just by you mentioning it wouldn't be any additional cost of the taxpayer, I'm wondering how that would happen. Because again, I think we have to put up 50% capital in order to get that money is the way I could interpret it.
I think we could cross that bridge if it got there.
Question, firewall expansion. Are we gonna expand it onto land that we don't own yet?
Might not be the right person to,
Because we need to secure the land
Yeah.
first before we can even have that suggestion, I think.
Expansion was on land.
There were two different
Just in the
designs.
parking lot, yeah.
Yeah, there were two designs, were there not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's two in
okay.
there,
Yeah.
one's for land we don't own.
But that's still in progress, so we're trying to build that.
So I think I'll try to summarize. I don't know if we've got clear direction here. I will ask one question though. Can this grant, because I think this council's been talking about the development and future developments. Can it be applied to Willow Wolf or whatever the name of that division is, or the RM land to make it serviceable to be ready? That would be my one question, because I think council is talking about that, and that's an investment that this council would have to make, or this community. And the second thing, what I think I'm hearing is, if we can, it's sort of a recreation or some sort of thing that's impactful for the community, whether it's a new recreational area, Lidle area, whatever it happens to be, something that's gonna draw people here. Make our place more healthy. And then the other thing was, the second part is around paving. So doing something with the paving program. So I think that's what
Can we just maybe narrow it down and just give it a kind of a small?
well, that's what I'm trying,
Baby.
that's what I'm trying to get us to, so I'm just, yeah, no. Well, because I don't wanna dismiss anybody. And again, I wanna make sure these guys have clear direction today. And why I put in there, are we wanting to look at land development? Which is gonna be impactful down the road to be able to attract our seniors housing, our new residential area, our potential business at the RM land. Or do we wanna just have a recreation quote? And unquote, something that's sort of like recreation. Like the Lidle can be considered that way, or the track, and let our staff come back to us just with the recommendation and we go with it.
We have to make a decision tonight.
No, we have to make a decision when she brings us to a resolution. So we have to give these guys some marching orders tonight to come back with the resolution so that we can call a special meeting next week and
There's
have.
something that I would like to add. We have been in touch with FCM, that they have the grant department. and the possibility of us getting something from them as part of the grant. So we are meeting first week in.
You brought up a good point about Wolf Willow. We don't know the cost of it, but that was something that we didn't talk about, but I'm still.
So in terms of that, like, we cannot do any underground infrastructure with these dollars.
No water or wastewater projects.
So this is just surface works, so
Then that takes it off the list then.
like there is like clearing the land, putting a gravel road into an area, sort of that type of stuff, yes. But no underground infrastructure, if that answers that.
So what do we wanna do, guys? Get them to come back with maybe 2 resolutions, one on a recreation proposal that may include the Lido, one on a paving development proposal. We can decide at the next, maybe Bola, you can send some preliminary stuff to us with the meeting invite. And then, council can be prepared that night to make a decision to which, and again, all we're doing is applying for a grant. The other part that comes along with this is that, we have to keep in mind is that if we get it, we have to pay for the other half. And so where's that coming from? So,
Tom, didn't you also say it was more favorable if you were trying to do 2 projects and then 1 grant? Say some recreation and some street?
A joint application sounds like will be given priority. So if we do, let's say, a recreation one where our Kelsey is like supporting of it, that will bump that application ahead of our general application.
so, because it's 2 municipalities, but I guess that's why, right?
That's what,
Yeah,
yes,
that would be that you can't have a partner as another municipality.
correct.
Okay.
So
Clear as mud, I guess, guys?
We'll bring some, we'll refine the paving a little further and then, we'll talk with the rec director about,
Yeah.
expansion.
And again, not to dismiss the firefighting, proposals, I mean, I think there's some good information there as well with regards to Byron's. I'm hoping and I'm pretty hopeful that we will see something, more, another opportunity to jump on something like down the road.
Just because you segued into that, that's what I wanted to comment on. And then please, Fire Chief, do not take this as a questioning of you or anything else, but I'm seeing it repeatedly and it is bad information when we're constantly talking about development and growth in the town of The Paw. So I'm just gonna ask for this question instead of putting you on the spot or anything else. Could you please supply the code that says we cannot develop anything over 3 stories? The only code that exists, just to give you a head start, says in 2016 that municipalities and designers should take into consideration their available apparatus. There is nothing in building code that says we cannot build over 3 stories. So I just wanted to make sure we're not scaring off potential developers that might be watching our YouTube videos. It's misleading information. I know you're pulling it from the underwriter's direction, but again, that's a really small picture. It doesn't say we can't, and those are strong words when developers are looking at it. So if we're gonna say these things, I'd like to see a code that maybe you're finding something that I'm not aware of that says a municipality can't build, because it's kind of scary, right? We want to build a big fancy something or other, but we can't because that's.
Councilor, do you have some reasons?
No, I understand.
Okay,
Okay, do you wanna talk, are we good now? Are you guys kinda okay or
so
what?
2 things, paving as well as recreation.
Tentative date when you would have this, so we have a tentative date on the special meeting.
Well, it'll be next week.
Okay, yeah.
That's a problem.
That,
The deadline's October, end of October.
Yeah, so I think, I'll just look at the calendar. It'll will have to be the 29th.
Since now it's a public site, so they do.
Eh? It'll just be a half an hour, it'll be a lunchtime meeting.
Maybe.
It's a Monday before a day off, so
No.
it might be a
Yeah.
4-day weekend for some.
Well,
Can we do it this week?
okay, well, we'll figure out a
We'll
date.
figure it out anyway, style it.
Yeah, you can always, hopefully we have all the information in our emails anyway, so that you can.
Do we want to each just rank? Send an email and say rank?
Yeah, but I think we're supposed to.
And then we have this steering committee from there?
Yeah, I don't know, I think I don't disagree, we can send what we think.
Yeah.
And then send it off back to Bola, what
Just to
or we
speed them
think
up.
one or
Yes.
2. 1 and 2, and that's good enough, and then we know mostly where we're gonna be leaning anyways. Okay. Well done, timeline, wildfire timeline. So just before I go, so you guys kind of get it?
Good.
Yeah, you'll share that information with Omar?
Yeah, we'll speak with the, yeah.
Okay,
So, 1513, is that somehow part of the growth thing, or is that something different?
what's that?
Park
The
areas,
recreation?
Yeah, part, I don't know, is that part of the grow application, or is that something separate?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Yes, recreational manager is not here today due to health issue, stay away from town.
I didn't even see that, there's no that, so. So let's carry it to the next meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe it is, I don't know,
No.
there's no attachment or anything.
I don't think it is.
That is your request, Councilor Allen.
I need a request.
Yes, it's your request, I wanted you to see.
Okay, so let's move down, we don't need to talk about 1531. I think everybody's read that. 1532, we just talked about that again, I think we're just trying to narrow down the options, so appreciate. The next one is we're at 1532 1, which is wildfire timeline.
So basically that file there kind of gives a breakdown of a 3-year wildfire community protection plan. How long it takes, I know City of Thompson, it took 2 years. We are working on some stuff for next year for mitigation to remove ladder fuels in behind UCN. And I know there's conversations about creating a cut line on the south side of town. The only downfall to that, we don't own that land. That's provincial or crown land and OCN land. So that's where this community wildfire protection plan with the tri-communities would come together. Where we could sit down as a group, come up with these areas during risk assessments. To create these cut lines for ourselves, OCN, the RM. Because there are houses south of town in the RM that are a risk or could be a risk. So when looking at this timeline, the first year's pretty light. Securing the leadership and forming the committee, that would include members from Town of the Paw, OCN, RM of Kelsey, Wildfire, Manitoba Hydro, because they have hydro lines running through the forest, and there is a risk off those. So getting that committee set up and then creating a formal document to kind of say, why are we doing this? So scope of the project, the objectives, and formalizing the timeline. And then the Q3, beginning that public relations. We do a little bit right now. I'm a prairie boy, so I don't understand a whole lot about forestry. I didn't work forestry. I know what a wheat field looks like. Before I moved up here, I didn't even know what a tree was, so. Coming up here, it's an eye opener, all right. But Jacob's been really good at helping me understand a lot of forestry, with his wildfire background. And then the last little bit in the first year is organizing some basic training. I know I need some training on wildfire for sure, but not just for me, but all of these other communities as well within the tri community. So that you can understand terminology, how wildfires react, different types of wildfires. But then year 2 is when we get into the gritty portion. So that's conducting that formal risk assessment of the whole tri-community area. Finding out which areas are at higher risk, what's the fuel load, fuel type, and what kind of assets do we have? Water assets in there? Is there residential assets? I know the RM has some water shelters or pump hoses. Same with Clearwater. Where are their assets and how can we mitigate a wildfire to those areas?
Myron, can I just ask a question, just,
Yeah.
because I don't know? Wouldn't Manitoba Wildland or Wildfire Services already have a risk map of, because we're talking about crown lands mostly,
If it's submitted to them, yes.
hey?
If it's submitted to wildfire, it will be on a map.
No, what I'm saying is that, I know forestry wise would have an idea, and I'm pretty sure they do have. Like there'll be stands of trees within the forest around the community that has a bug infestation that's killing the forest. That becomes a higher risk of forest fires.
Yep.
Which then they start managing that. So I'm just wondering, and again, it was just a comment, like,
And that's why.
we wouldn't do all that type of
And
work.
that's why we would include wildfire within this committee. Because Lawrence and his crew, they have all the knowledge.
Yeah,
You know, we're structural firefighters, we have base knowledge on wildfire. But they are the forestry experts and subject matter experts on that. So we would rely on them for help with the risk assessment.
yeah, and I would think that our fire department's responsibility is that, right?
Yeah.
Is structural, like, we're not trying to turn our department into a wildfire response team.
No,
Only under critical support systems.
we assist with value protection, yeah. And then, execute our public education curriculum. So that's going to schools, talking with high school students, talking with, middle school students. And even hosting workshops for the residents of the community to get fire smart. And that's where we would lean towards is grant funding from Fire Smart to create a fire smart community. There's lots of grants out there. I know there's a $500 grant for the Fire Smart Day to help produce or get information out to the public to be fire smart. Quarter 4 in year 2 is let's analyze the assessment data. So with the help of wildfire, we would analyze each area, each community to see where the risks were. What's the fuel type? A pine tree is gonna burn different than a birch tree. So I don't understand any of that. So if we could have wildfire assist with that. And year 3, outline the protection plan. So we created an outline of the plan's chapters, including the introduction, the assessment summary. What mitigation strategies can we do? Is that cut lines? Is that removing deadfall? Removing ladder fuels? All of that stuff can be in mitigation strategies. Also, community chipping programs. Can we allow the community to go in behind UCN or other areas to remove the dead trees for their own fire? Thompson has done that in the past, where they've designated certain areas where the community can go in and cut trees and use them for their own personal firewood. I don't know how they manage it. That'd be a conversation to have with their chief and maybe their CAO to see how they manage that. Then draft a full plan that would be provided to both councils, or all 3 councils, so that they could look through it before it's provided to the community. And the formal improvement, so once that draft is approved, it gets provided to community members, provincial government, federal government. And then year 4 is basically maintenance, and we look at that plan every year to make sure we're staying on top of it. Are we looking at areas every year that might be an issue? Are we keeping vegetation management under control, under hydro lines, close to houses? Are we keeping up with the Fire Smart program? So it's not just a quick 1 year deal. This is a long-term submission for the track community.
Good, any questions for fire chief?
I like that chipping program. I would be interested to know how that would work without it possibly falling onto people's houses, garages, making it choppy, like just how it's worked in other communities.
Well, I think, and they have, I think when they were talking with Thompson, I believe, where they have the Super 8 there, I don't know what they call that area along that creek. I think they thinned out the forest there. It's not, and so it would be the forest land, not just cutting down in the town, I don't think. No, I think, I like this, I mean, it's a good vision, but I also believe that there will be some connections to Manitoba Forest Wildland Services or whatever you call it, and those type of programs, because, you know, every community should probably be looking at this going forward. Councilor
So
Hobart?
your first involvement on this would be hopefully be.
Yeah, myself and Jacob would be on the committee.
You're not looking at this and saying we need another staff member or something.
No.
There's reflected, there's a first priority is structural now.
Yeah. Our goal with this is the protection of the town to wildfire, and OCN's commitment would be protection of OCN. RM would be worried about their own.
So good.
And like I said, we are working on the operating budget for next year, where there will be money set aside for some vegetation management within the community.
Good, any other questions, comments? All right, thank you very much, Byron. Fall convention, there's who wants to attend sort of thing, I will be in attendance. Councillor Atkinson said,
I probably would.
Councillor Allen, so if you wanna go, Councillor Manage is a possibility, so if you wanna go, send your.
So please let me know so that I do the registration.
I'm invited out the times that we can this week.
Let me know a time so that I'll be able to do the registration.
So you know that.
Okay, yeah. And Councilor, yes,
I'll send you.
okay, and Councilor,
Possibly, I gotta check schedule.
you send me an email.
Yeah, correct.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along here, that's it. Thank you very much for bearing with us a long meeting tonight with lots of discussion, so we appreciate it, so. We now move into in camera and in the in camera portion, you won't attend that, it's because it deals with personnel and other issues. Thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you. We'll give you an invite for the next special service levy meeting. I'll keep you in the loop.
Maybe if you're a spokesperson.
Yeah, Q&A.
No, thank you, Brianna.
One question I have, something about.
Oh, yeah, so if you come and see Ebola, she's gonna get you all hooked up for AllNet and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so then you can log into the agendas and all that stuff, you can see it. Okay? All right,
Thanks for coming out. Drew.
see
Okay,
you in a couple of weeks for sure.
resolve that we now move ourselves into the in-camera portion of committee of the whole with Mayor Murphy and the chair to discuss matters requiring our attention.
Thanks to everybody, for attending tonight, just to put a note, we will be no decisions or, made in council, so